Overall, I think the week went really well. I want to address last week's discussion boards first. The majority of the class did really well. Kylie and I both think that as the semester continues, you're going to continue to grow in your discussions and your dialogues with one another. Some things that we want to point out. First, you want to make sure you're discussing or you're distributing your discussions throughout the entire week. Two, make sure you're addressing the lesson, reading, and the book in your posts. I always wanted you to be able to tie your discussion into the lesson in some way. This lets me know that you can apply the lesson to the actual scenario given on the discussion board topic. Third, some students just touched on the subject. Make sure you're elaborating on the subject, and that's both in your initial post and your follow-up postings. It's not enough to say you agree or disagree with somebody without providing any explanation. I do comment on everybody's discussions to try to help explain what some of these issues are and to try to get you to think about things in a different way than maybe you're used to. As for the papers, overall, we saw really good work. Here's a couple of reminders about them. First, make sure you are referencing a peer-reviewed journal article. If you're not clear about what that is, please ask myself or Kylie for assistance. We can walk you through that. Second, make sure you're editing your work prior to submitting it. There were quite a few spelling and grammatical errors. And lastly, make sure you're sticking to the topic. I know that as several students get off track a little bit with what you were trying to explain. Examine the feedback that Kylie and I give you from the rubric. Again, if you need assistance with anything, please feel free to send me an email. For this week's lesson, we'll be looking at the earliest forms of punishment and our historical use of penitentiaries. Furthermore, this lesson will address our earliest forms of probation and parole. It's interesting to examine where we've been in corrections to see where we will be in the future. Much of what used to be done to punish people informs us of where we never want to be again, or vice versa, and has informed our use of corrections today. Please note that this lesson does include a video from the UCO Library's Films on Demand. It will ask you to use your login information to view it. When you watch the film, pay special attention to the Pennsylvania and Auburn systems of the penitentiary and how technology is routinely used in our prison system today. Have a great week, and let me know if you have any questions.